I'm Kevin Price. I'm a district manager with Oregon Parks and Rec Department, and I want to welcome everybody to this fantastic event. I would like to start by introducing John George with the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, and George is going to lead us in a drum, a place of our ancestors.
I'd like to say Lahayim, Nikanim, John George, Tai, Pushchagu, Niga Tum Tum, Shlush, Teftu, and says that I welcome everybody here today, that my name is John George, and Tai is a word for chief here, but it is a good day. We welcome everyone, and that my heart is good today. So thank you, and I'm going to open up with an invocation, and then we will sing for you one of our tribal songs. But we'd like to welcome you all to the ceded lands of the Confederate Tribes of Grand Ronde. We are standing in the place of the Watlala people, the Cascade people, and we just have an honor today also to have a descendant here with us as one of our tribal members, is through Chief Tumulth in this area. Her name is, and one of our tribal elders is Debbie Anderson, and we would like to thank you very much for her. It's such an honor to have her as part of our group today. So I'd like to give an invocation, and then we will go into a drum. So we thank you, our Heavenly Father, for this beautiful day. We thank you for this beautiful land that you have created, and the opportunity for us to stand and walk upon this beautiful path that has been created. May it always bring blessing upon people as they cross this path. Lord, that it carry such a good, beautiful spirit with the people as they travel through this area, of knowing that all things were good here. And we thank you for the parks people who with their good stewardship, that keep it beautiful, and the ODOT people, Lord, that we ask a blessing upon them, for their hard work that they have done. We thank you for our beautiful tribal people that stand before you today and sing with their hearts, Lord, and feel the spirits of our ancestors that once walked upon this land. So we thank you again for this day and the people here, and that this path be an avenue of safety for the people there, and that they always remember the good things. So in this, and we give you all the praise. Amen.
get from Cascade Locks to Troutdale without getting on the interstate, which I'm sure bicyclists will certainly enjoy. Very quickly, I'd like to recognize Cassie Karnacki, and she's with Representative Mark Johnson's office, and she came to recognize this event.
Thank you for having me here today. As he said, I'm Cassie Kornacki. I'm with Representative Mark Johnson for House District 52, which is obviously Cascade Locks. And I'm really excited to be a part of this ceremony, especially since the weather cleared up, and how could you not love being in such a beautiful place? I wanted to recognize the collaborative efforts between the leaders of Cascade Locks, ODOT, and Oregon Parks and Recreation Department just for really revitalizing the trail and making.
Does September 14th hold, and why did we hold the celebration today? And I have a very simple answer for you. The project will be completed at the end of October. And so that would have meant we would have held the celebration in November. I've lived in the gorge since 1993, and trust me, you don't want to hold an outside celebration in November in the gorge. So that's the reason that we're holding this today. I would like to introduce John Potter and Robin Risley from Oregon State.
We believe that people need special places to go. They need special places to go as a way to get away from the routine of everyday life, as a way to connect with Oregon and its history and its story. And they need special places to go as a way to be inspired by incredible scenery and contact with the natural world. We believe this is important and crucial to making our lives better, richer, and more enjoyable. Today we're lucky because we get to celebrate a recycling project, one of the largest recycling projects I know. We're turning a highway into a trail. And this, by doing that, we're creating a special place that's going to be enjoyed by millions of people over the years. In 1987, the Oregon legislature declared it the public policy of the state to reuse and manage the historic Columbia River Highway as a continuous visitor attraction that ties together gorge cities and contributes to their economic development. Since that time, under the leadership of the Oregon Department of Transportation and their dedicated advisory committee, this vision has been becoming a reality through a unique partnership with state parks and through support from many organizations who will be celebrating here today. State Parks is here because you can't just build a special place and then walk away. You have to be committed to its proper care and its stewardship. And that has to happen over the long term, or a place doesn't stay special. So we're here to help do that. The portions of the highway that have become and are becoming a state trail were designed and constructed by ODOT in a phased approach over time. Funding programs and grant programs have been critical to the timeline and to the success so far. And special thanks is due to them. This project would still be a planner's dream were it not for the Western Federal Lands Division of the Federal Highway Administration, the Oregon Pedestrian and Bicycle Program, the Oregon Transportation Enhancement Program, and the Public Lands Highway Discretionary Fund. And we all owe a great debt of gratitude to these organizations for their support in this project and others along this trail. Now it's my honor to introduce a very special person in all of this, the chair of the Oregon Transportation Commission, Patrick Egan. Under Chair Egan's leadership at ODOT, we have a really great project to celebrate today. Thank you, Chair Egan.
Thank some people, talk a little bit about history, and then talk about what's next. In the order of thanking people, I know what I'm going to do is fail to recognize some people who have been critical to this project. Why we're here today, Kevin mentioned some practical reasons why we're here today. One of the historical reasons is actually that 100 years ago this month, September of 1913, one of the Sams, Sam Lancaster, who was hired by the other Sam, Sam Hill, to look up and down and determine a vision for the Columbia River Gorge. And what he did was ultimately design what was one of the first projects of its kind in the nation and maybe even in the world, the Columbia River Gorge Highway. And we're here today to recycle that, but I also want to commemorate the work of Sam Lancaster and the work that he did. And imagine yourself being charged with the job of surveying this gorge without any highways, without a little bit of rail at the time, and basically cliffs and river. And imagine the vision that it took to pull that off and to put ourselves in this place today to be able to now recycle and rededicate the trail. I also want to thank Kevin. Kevin has been an incredible leader. How about a round of applause for Kevin in this? In addition to his character and his humor, he's a great example of the type of people who have really dedicated their time to this project and what it's going to take for us to be successful going forward. I also want to recognize Wayne Stewart, the chair of the Columbia River Highway Advisory Committee. And I would like the other members of Wayne's committee, if you could just raise your hands, I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. I think we'd all agree that Wayne and this committee has done just a fantastic job in the partnership in designing this project. I was talking with Wayne just a few minutes ago, right before this, and when this was really kicked off and this became a vision turning into reality, Wayne was charged and others were charged with looking up and down, just as Sam Lancaster had, up and down the gorge here and figuring out where are we going to put this. And one of the options was to go right along the rail. Well, you made the right choice, Wayne. This is a great place for this to be. I also want to recognize Jose Villapando. Jose is the project coordinator. Jose is the project coordinator, and we would all agree that these, and if you've had the opportunity to bike it, you can recognize it and would agree. If you haven't, please get on a bike and do it, because it's a great opportunity. It's beautiful construction, it's very well done, and it's going to live on. I just recognize also Sam Lancaster, and I just want to note 2 years after he started on this project, and forgive me a moment, Sam wrote in the Oregon Journal these words: "Standing here, I realize the magnitude of my task and the splendid opportunity presented. Instinctively, there came a prayer for strong men that we may have the sense enough to do the right thing in the right way." And we would all agree that he pulled it off, did a great job. What was then the highway was recognized as a national standard. So if you go into Yosemite, if you go into Yellowstone, if you go into Glacier, this was, at the time, the king of roads, and it was also the design standard for all national parks and for many other beautiful highways all around the nation and actually around the world. So all of the nuance and all of the beautiful design work that Sam Lancaster did lives on, and I would say that Jose and Wayne and others have done a great job on the design front. Now about money and what's next. As part of the Transportation Commission, as chair of the Transportation Commission, one of my great duties and opportunities and honors is to allocate funds to projects all around the state. And we've done a great job in turning the corner and going beyond just the Oregon State Highway Department to the Oregon Department of Transportation and taking on all modes. And as a cyclist, as you can see, I'm almost wearing my official ODOT yellowish oranges today. We get the opportunity now to make these investments, and we know that it's changing communities. If you talk to any local mayor, commissioner, these trails are changing communities, and we're working with Travel Oregon, and we're working with local travel agencies to make sure that people know, not just in the state of Oregon, but nationally and now internationally, what a treasure this is. And we very much look forward to folks coming into PDX from Germany, from Japan, and from all around the world to travel this space. But what it's going to take, and what we've done now, we've been very creative, and I would tip my hat to Kristen Stallman and Pat and Jerry Bohart and a number of people at the Department of Transportation who have cobbled together the funding, Dr. Zalata and others who have really been advocates to put us in this place now where we've got this project lined up. And somebody said earlier today, we're 6/7 of the way there. And that last 1/7 happens to be probably more expensive than the other 6/7. So it's going to take everybody here. It's going to take us on the commission. It's going to take legislators and others to help us get over the top. The federal delegation has been a great advocate for this project as well. But that last little bit, and as Wayne said earlier, you can't build part of a tunnel. Once you start on a tunnel, you got to finish it. And depending on your estimates, it's going to be $40 to $50 million. And we can only do so much. The federal delegation is going to step up, I believe, ultimately. But everybody here, I would just challenge you to step up. Write your legislators, write your congressmen. Let's make sure that we're advocating to get this project done. And with that, I just want to say again, thank you. This really has been an incredible team effort. So many people in the department, so many people in the gorge, so many people in the bike community, so many local commissioners, city councilors, and mayors have made this happen today. And I'm really proud, extremely proud to be here 100 years later after Sam and say, let's get the rest of it done. Thank you very much.
And that's Diane McKeel. And Diane knew me when I had hair.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Don't we love his sense of humor? I think that's one reason he was chosen to chair this today. So anyway, I am Diane McKeel, Multnomah County Commissioner, and I have the privilege of representing this part of Multnomah County, the most beautiful part of Multnomah County. And believe me, I remind my fellow colleagues on my board of that on a very regular basis. In fact, one of them said to me not so long ago, I was talking about the gorge. She's like, you just never quit promoting, do you, Diane? I said, no. I came from the Chamber of Commerce before, and so I've had the privilege of representing this area for a very, very long time. So very happy and excited to be with you here today. You heard Pat talk about Sam Lancaster and his role in all of this, and it was 100 years ago that Multnomah County hired Sam Lancaster to build a highway that would highlight this wonderful area. And I agree with Pat, he was a visionary, and it's my understanding that he was always aware of the footprint the highway would make and how it would impact the beauty around here, and I think he just did a great job. So this trail today pays tribute to the early road builders, and it also creates a legacy for many generations to come. So just imagine in the next 100 years how many people will enjoy this trail, this highway, and the beauty of the gorge. Thank you very much.
And it is Hood River Commissioner Ron Rivers here. A replacement. See, I knew they threw me a curveball because they actually gave me even photos to. They really dummied this down for me. And your name is?
I'm County Commissioner Karen Joplin.
Karen Joplin.
Thank you. So my name is Karen Joplin. I am also a Hood River County Commissioner in placement of Ron Rivers today. And I chose to ride here today from Cascade Locks with my daughter, who is 12. And we were so wrapped up in the beauty along the trail and talking about the moss on the trees that we were a couple minutes late. But it struck me how lucky we are to live here and call this place home, and how lucky our communities are to benefit from these recreational connectivity projects like this. An exciting segment connecting our Heart of the Gorge community, Cascade Locks, with our Portland region, and how much I look forward to seeing this group together again $40 to $50 million later when the next segment is complete, hopefully not too far in the distant future. On behalf of Hood River County, again, thank you, and want to express our appreciation on everybody that worked on this project. and how exciting it really is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Joplin. I'd like to take the opportunity now to introduce the mayor of Troutdale, Doug Doust. Here we go.
I come from the west. Well, last time I was on this bridge, I was part of the 26-mile bike ride from Corbett to Cascade Locks, and I learned more in that one bike ride about what the bike community needs from my perspective, because I was part of it. We see a lot of bicyclists come through Troutdale, and I know the bicycle community knows that. And being the west side, gateway to the gorge, they stop at our general store, they stop at our coffee shops, and they're heading this way. And so now we've got more of a gateway to the gorge. We're spending some money on the west end. We between the Gresham Chamber of Commerce and East Multnomah County, there's $95,000 that we're going to put into a bicycle infrastructure initiative on the west end, so we can give the bicyclists what they need, so we can give the bicyclists what they want, so they can have a better access to this whole Columbia Gorge section of bike trails. And looking east, I see my fellow mayor here from Cascade Locks. Our Chamber of Commerce is the same Chamber of Commerce, so we're already connected that way. But now, we're literally connected with this. The bicyclists now can go farther rather than turning around and going back. They can go all the way to Cascade Locks. So I think this is a great thing, and we're here to celebrate today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Doust. I'd like to take the opportunity now to introduce the mayor of Cascade Locks, Tom Gramblett.
Thank you, Kevin. So I'm the mayor of Cascade Locks. I grew up in Cascade Locks. My family's been in Cascade Locks since the late 1800s. My grandmother and aunt actually washed clothes for the builders of the scenic highway, as Gorge Highways that were coming through Cascade Locks. So they worked there. Now, Cascade Locks has always been kind of an isolated place. The way you used to get there was by canoe, and then eventually they went away. You got there by steamboats, they went away. You got there by railroad station there, the rail station went away, and eventually the scenic highway gorge was built, and that's what really got the town taking off, was that access. But when they built the freeway, that went around. The town was a little upset about losing some of the ways that a full exchange getting off there. But actually, what you've done here, though, makes up for all of that. It's a small town, as we all know. It's pretty it doesn't have a lot of room in it, but it does have a lot of room for hikers and bicyclists. So actually, the fact that you've done this is probably the biggest thing you could do for that community. So, Community Cascade Locks appreciates that. We've got a festival that we've got going on up there today, so we appreciate what's going on there. So if you want to, when you get there, head towards Cascade Locks. A lot going on, and. Sam Lancaster, Sam Hill, if he were here today, he probably wouldn't be as much involved in this, because I think Sam Hill would probably be involved in space travel. He was always moving on to the next big thing, transportation. But Lancaster would have been here. He was all about nature. He was all about history. He would have loved this. And one of the other things he would have loved is this little spot right here, because even though there was a highway, Lancaster was all about little encaves, little places to get off to be able to enjoy the scenic value of that highway. So I'm glad this little piece is right here, where you can look at McCord Creek. And Cascade Locks is one of those places. We've got the Marine Park going on for us, which Lancaster was big into history, big into scenery, and we've got a great Marine Park there for all these bicyclists to roll on into, and we've got the East Wind and the Charberger to carve back up on. But again, from Cascade Locks, we really appreciate what this is, but we agree with Hood River that you can't stop right here. You need to continue on. If you want this to be something international, it's got to be able to continue on. And one of the other things I would just like to add to it too is I don't think we should wait for 100 other years for our grandchildren or aunts, nieces, nephews, grandnieces, nephews to be able to tell the story of what you've all done here. I would hope that somebody would, because eventually there's going to be a plaque somewhere, maybe a couple of plaques with a couple of people's name on it that were very important to be there. Those names are important to be there, but there are hundreds of people involved in here that are around here right now that made this whole thing go. And I would hope that we would take the time right now to look at all their stories of how this thing went and get all those stories down now, not expect our grandchildren and great-grandchildren and all that to try to put the story back together sometime. Because there was a lot of people went into this, and they should all be recognized somehow and their stories told. So anyway, with that, hopefully everybody gets the Cascade Locks. It's Trail Days, September month. September we've proclaimed as Trail Month for Cascade Locks. So again, thank you. Thanks for ODOT for all you've done here.
The ceremony, and before I hand this off to John George, who will be presenting the speakers some gifts, and I believe there's going to be a photo opportunity rather than a dedication of the bronze plaque. But I wanted to thank the contractors who have braved 2 years here in the gorge working on this project, and that's Tappanee. I also want to take a quick moment to recognize Kristen Stallman. Kristen, I've always admired her commitment, her dedication, and often when I speak to her husband, he calls it her stubbornness. But Kristen, without you, we certainly wouldn't be where we are today, and so I personally want to say thank you. As we wrap up, and I hand this off to John George, I wanted to leave you with 3 words that are important to Oregon Parks and Recreation Department. And those words are nature, history, and discovery. And folks, I want to tell you, we have all of those things right here along the historic Columbia River Highway State Trail. I really want to thank you for coming today, and I hope that you enjoy the trail in the future as much as I do. And John George, you have some gifts?
Thank you, Kevin. And it is, and I know, because I'm always forewarned and stuff too, so I don't want everybody to carry with them. I'm always given the warning to not talk too long, because my Indian name from my tribe is called Chief Longwind, and so I've got to quit. And Denise, my co-counselor, she is agreeing, but so is then probably Siobhan's probably back there too, giving me the okay, good. So and I know we were all supposed to talk briefly and everything too, but it is, and we are just honored to be part of this event and being able for the people to come here today to hear our story, to know that we were the people of this land. That as we welcome people always into our ceded lands and stuff too, the history is here. And just like the gentleman was talking about from Cascade Locks also, because historically the rivers were our highway and stuff through our carved canoes as we traveled that, and we traded, and we created commerce and stuff through this area, through the other tribes and stuff. I mean I had the opportunity, I'm wearing a t-shirt today because of our annual canoe journey that we do each year, and so this year we did have the opportunity to begin that journey on our ancestral lands at Shampooey Park. And if somebody were here, because we are very thankful for the parks people too that helped us along the journey to be able to stay at Shampooey Park and everything. And it was almost a 200-mile journey all the way up to the Quinault Indian Nation and stuff. And I can attest to, I probably paddled at least 150 miles of that 200 journey stuff too. So it's what an incredible experience for us to do, and for our membership that we create like a community, and it's for clean and sober activities for our kids stuff too. Some of our tribal kids have grown up for we've done it almost 10 years, and of them staying clean and sober just through that activity and creating healthy families and communities through that. So, but we are so honored for that to do, and we wanted to take this moment to recognize the special people that were here to speak today and everything on behalf of us. And what Denise has here is what she's holding is when we gift something that is made from us, and also something that is of value to us too. And these are our traditional dentilium necklaces that we make. And dentilium is a seashell or a sea creature that it is harvested out of the sea. And in historically, that was our money that we would have wore in bands. If you'll notice on some of our other tribal members, they're wearing massive dentilium necklaces, and those are called money necklaces. And we would have wore those, and then if we went to somewhere to trade or do commerce, I mean even out to the mouth of the Columbia, that we would have traveled to trade for something for us. And so they would have taken that necklace and they would have broken off a strand of the dentilium, and that strand of one string was a value to that, so that we could trade for other items, that we needed as Native people. And so today we would like to, which one do you got? We'd like to thank, and of course of all, we have Kristen. Kristen, if you could come up, because we know you are actually the hard work behind this event. I don't want to say the brains, because I'd probably get in trouble for that. But we want to thank you for all your hard work and that you've done for us in recognizing us. So thank you so much. Next agreement. Oh, man. So we have Patrick Egan and a thank you, sir, for your chair of the thing. And thank you, sir, Patrick, and so I'd like to gift you. Thank you, sir. And Mr. John Potter, again, there we go. Thank you so much for your hard work too. Robin Risley, to thank you so much. And these necklaces that we're giving away too were made by our tribal members and our tribal elders too. Commissioner McKeel, so thank you so much. Thank you. Commissioner Joplin. Mayor Downs. Everyone is. There he is. There he is. And Mayor Crambley. So thank you all for your hard work, and especially to ODOT and the Park Service too. We are very thankful and honored to be part of this event here in Satu, and so we wish you all safe travels.
Thank you all very much for coming out. Get out and enjoy your Oregon State Parks. Thank you very much.